So let's dive into what it means to take a catalog-driven approach to this revenue operations chain. Now, I'm going to show you a slide that has a lot of content on it, and it's not going to, the content here is not meant as a you should, sequence your revenue operations chain in these specific chevrons, right? What I want you to pay closer attention to is on the left-hand side, the product types. When we say take a catalog-driven approach to revenue operations, it means that companies, they sell different types of products. You might sell transactional products. You might have subscription products. You might have usage products and be on the cusp of starting to sell services products or other types of products, right? Each type of product has its own revenue operations chain. A transactional sale might be different. The actual mechanics of how you configure a transactional product, how you price it or discount it, how you put it on a quote or how you contract for it or do approvals for it might be unique to just those transactional products, right? So understanding every single one of these chevrons by product type is key to controlling your business and optimizing your overall revenue operations chain. Now, if you can look at each of the chevrons and kind of think, oh, well, for my business, the order is slightly different of, when we do returns and refunds or when we invoice, or the color coding might be different as far as, who does amendments or who actually helps with the quoting process. That doesn't necessarily matter to this. The main point of taking a catalog-driven approach is to know what you sell, simplify your product set so that you can navigate the configuration process for it, provide a good user experience for a sales rep that is trying to quote all of the different product types at the same time. That affects your systems choice, it affects your IT strategy, it affects your kind of planning on who does what in each sequence of your revenue operations chain by product, right? Once you have each of these chevrons optimized, then you can say, okay, we've got control of our catalogs. We know how our ERP looks at our product catalog. We know how our CRM looks at our catalog, and we have a strategy in making sure that those are, congruent so that you don't have a bunch of issues. And then you can decide, kind of where you need to improve or, where you have control. And you can see that IT is still kind of the guiding force, underneath all of it to make it all work, right? Now you'll notice that the subscription chain has a little kind of jutting out. Michael's going to talk a little bit more about how subscriptions, and especially, don't really reflect this linear model in a few moments, and we understand that, and we think that's okay.
I think what happens when you introduce subscriptions into the mix, the life cycle of a customer stops being linear in nature. It's not just about a single sale and a transaction that closes out on the back end. The life cycle becomes more cyclical in nature. You want to jump to the next slide? And what I mean is that the life cycle continues in a circle around and around with the customer as they do amendments, as they do changes, as they do updates and renewals with subscription services. And as you add, usage components into that solution, the actual life cycle becomes even more complicated because the number of invoices obviously go up, right? The number of invoices rise, the number of payments rise, the number of recognition rules rise, and so as you complicate your revenue stream, the complications of handoff and data transparency into finance become more complicated.